When I returned from my grandfather's funeral, the first thing I noticed was the absence of my bedroom door.
Not open, gone.
The frame stood there, stripped bare, like the house itself had given up on boundaries. Inside, the space I once called my room had vanished too. My desk, my books, my old camera, all erased. In their place hung pale lavender curtains, and a glossy pink vanity sat where my dresser used to be. And there, perched cross-legged on my bed, was Lily, my mother's stepdaughter. She froze, mid-brushstroke through her hair, when she spotted me. "Oh, Mom said you'd be in the attic for now." The attic. That's when I realized grief wasn't going to be the hardest part of this day. Just a week ago, I stood beside my grandfather's hospital bed. Mom had been crying or pretending to. He had been the only man who stood in my corner after my father walked away. The only one who saw through the sweetness my mother wore like perfume, masking something colder underneath. When he passed, I believed I'd lost my last protector, but I underestimated how quickly she would move. While I stood at his casket, she was already dismantling my life behind my back. I still remember when she first met Tom, her new husband. She glowed like a teenager, all giggles and blushing smiles. I wanted to feel happy for her. I truly did. But joy has a way of turning people careless. Bit by bit, she began trading away pieces of me for this shiny new family. My place at the dinner table. Our weekends together. Her attention. Then came Lily, quiet, sweet, seemingly innocent. But people like that are often the most dangerous. They don't make the mess, they just let others do it for them. I didn't yell when I saw my belongings stuffed into trash bags beside the driveway. I didn't ask why. I already understood. I just stood there, staring at the shredded remnants of my life. And in that moment, something sharp cut through the grief, a strange, steady calm I hadn't felt in years. That calm followed me 2 days later when I visited Grandpa's lawyer. He handed me a sealed letter, written in my grandfather's familiar, careful handwriting. "You already know what to do," it read. "And below that, the house is yours. Don't let her take it." The lawyer confirmed it. The will was bulletproof. Every asset, the house, the land, the accounts, had been left solely to me. Not to my mother. Not to Tom. Just me. I didn't act immediately. I let her bask in her little illusion. I smiled at breakfast. I helped her hang curtains in what used to be my room. I even told her how fresh everything felt. She believed every word. That's the thing about people like her. They're too busy talking to notice silence. The day I made my move, the house was still. Tom had taken Lily out shopping. I waited until their car turned the corner, then made a single phone call. By the time my mother strolled downstairs with her coffee, a man in a suit was standing calmly in the living room. "Mom," I said, voice level, "this is Mr. Gresham, Grandpa's attorney." Her smile cracked. "Oh, what's this about?" He handed her the papers. Her eyes scanned the page once, then again. This isn't right." "It's legal," I replied. "Grandpa left everything to me, including this house, which means as of last week, you've technically been trespassing." The mug slipped from her hands and shattered on the floor. She didn't even glance at the coffee soaking into the carpet. "You can't do this to me," she said through clenched teeth. "To us." I stepped forward. "You did this the moment you threw my life out like garbage." Her expression twisted, a mix of fury and disbelief. "I was making room for your sister." "She's not my sister," I said softly. "She's your consequence." Tom returned to a house full of shouting and suitcases. He tried to speak with me, to negotiate. I handed him a copy of the will. His voice faltered halfway through reading it. "Legally," I said, "you both have until tonight to leave. I'd rather not involve police, but I will if I must." They were gone before dusk. From the porch, I watched as my mother stood beside the car, shaking, her eyes wild. "This isn't over," she spat. "You'll regret this." I nearly laughed. "You said the same thing when I was 15 and wouldn't call him Dad." She froze. "Funny," I added. "I don't regret that either." Then I shut the door. The house exhaled into silence, a silence that finally belonged to me. I walked into what used to be my bedroom. The lavender curtains still fluttered gently in the breeze. I didn't tear them down. I didn't need to, because the real win wasn't kicking her out. It was watching her realize she had lost something she thought was already hers. People say revenge is sweet. They're wrong. It's clean, like wiping away years of dust that had been suffocating you. Standing in that hollow hallway, I looked at the frame where my door used to be, the one she'd torn down. And I whispered, "I'm home, Grandpa." The wind didn't answer, but the quiet, deep, unmoving, complete, was all I needed. She called once that night. I didn't pick up. I just let the phone buzz, steady and pathetic, until it went still. And for the first time in years, I slept in my own bed again. I didn't ruin her life. I simply returned the chaos she handed me.